another edition of Inside Tibolo Exponential. Well, it's Derby weekend where we have the Soweto Derby in South Africa between Kaiser Chiefs and Orlando Pirates. In Egypt, there's the Cairo Derby between Zamalek and Al Ahly. In Morocco, there's the Casablanca Derby between Raja and Wydad. And in Spain, there's the Sevilla Derby or the Great Derby between Real Betis and Sevilla. In England, there's the Manchester Derby between the Red Devils and the Citizens. And in Italy, there's the Derby della Madonnina or the Milano Derby between AC Milan and Inter Milan, but we'll be focused on England and in Italy. Let's start from the Serie A game between AC Milan and Inter Milan. Well, people are underrating AC Milan in the Serie A based on their form on the continent. Yes, they are a terrible team in the UEFA Champions League, but they've been very impressive in the Serie A. Arguably the best team in the Italian Serie A this season. They have the same number of points with Napoli. They've not lost any game. The only time they've dropped points was a draw. They are solid rock, and like we say all the time, anything there's a Zlatan Ibrahimovic, you know you're all definitely going to be inspired or be forced to be inspired because of the Lion. And against Inter Milan, who have been somewhat inconsistent, yet the defending champions, they have a chance to reduce the gap between them and Milan from a 7 points to 3. But there's a possibility that the Milano will extend the points again from 7 to 10 points. It shows they want to win the Scudetto this season. They want to have their hands on the title. Yes, they are dragging it out with Napoli, but I don't think Napoli have what it takes to run all through this race to the end of the season. I think AC Milan are even a bigger threat. For this big derby game, I think AC have all it takes to win this match. Yes, Inter Milan, they've been solid rock. There's Dzeko doing all the good work with Lautaro Martinez, Barella doing well in the middle of the park. But I still think AC Milan are much more solid. On the continent, they are a poor team. But in the domestic front, in the Serie A, they've proven that they know they want to win this Scudetto. They have what it takes to win the title. And against Inter Milan this weekend, I think the best Inter can get here is probably a draw. But I believe AC Milan have all it takes to defeat their local rivals at the San Siro. To England, the Manchester Derby. On paper, any day, anytime you want to pick up Manchester City. On paper, any day you want to say Pep Guardiola is the greatest. On paper, you want to say he's a better manager than Ole. But going by their form, it's difficult to bet against Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's side. In the last 4 Premier League games, Man United have conceded just 1 goal against the Citizens. And they've dropped points just once, and it was a draw. Other 3 matches, Ole's team have won those games. Then you wonder, how is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer getting the best of Pep Guardiola? And in recent time, United switched to back three, and against Spurs, it worked. They scored 3 goals. In the Champions League, they had reasons to move back. Injury to Rafa Varane. So the big question is, will Ole stick with the back three or go back to his traditional 4-2-3-1 formation? That's a big answer for him to there. And for Pep Guardiola, remember they lost at home to Crystal Palace, and the last time out, they will need to bounce back. And if there's a team that you know, when you need them to turn up, they always do. The name of that team is Manchester City. For Ole Solskjaer, sometimes when you think they are poor, sometimes when you think all hope is lost for them, his team always find ways to turn times around. Remember, the one that comes to mind is the PSG game in the UEFA Champions League that got him a permanent job with the Red Devils. So it's a game that will probably be difficult to call. And like they say, in derby matches, your form is thrown out of the window. So based on stats, paper, everything looks towards a Manchester United, especially with Cristiano Ronaldo that look to be banging in goals here and there. It is hard to bet against United. But this is City. Will City want to lose back-to-back games in the Premier League and lose guard on the Premier League chase? I don't think that will happen. Well, the last time I predicted it against United, they fought hard, they fought back in that game, and they won. So now the question is, do they have enough firepower? Do they have enough technical know-how to go against Manchester City? No matter how Pep Guardiola tried to hide it, we know City are suffering from not having a natural centre forward, but they find ways to play around it. So I think this will be a tough task for United. The fact that they've not been so solid rock at home at Old Trafford, this is where I feel the Citizens can maybe pin down United here. I think City have all it takes to win this game. I don't think it will be a probably walloping or a thrashing like the last game against Liverpool for United. But I still believe Man City have what it takes to win. I don't think City will lose back-to-back matches in the Premier League. I think they have what it takes to win this game. But United are definitely not pushovers. United have what it takes to get a draw from this one. But on the balance of play overall, with the form of Harry Maguire recently, with the injury to Lindelof, with the injury to Rafa Varane, this is definitely going to be a soft task for United. I think United's best result in this game will maybe be a draw. But I think I'll stick out my neck for Man City to win this game. So for the Milano Derby, I think I'll stick out my neck for AC Milan. And for the Manchester Derby, I think I'll give it to the Citizens. Well, that's my prediction. That's our show for today. Thank you very much, guys, for listening to today's edition of Inside Tibolo Exponential. Till we come here one another time, have a beautiful weekend. Goodbye.